Yo, what's up guys, Max here, helping you guys level up your game, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at box fighting. Box fighting is part of the current meta in my opinion, just because it is so easy to fight somebody when you're inside your own box, and it is a pretty big thing when you are playing arena mode and scrims. So make sure you guys learn how to be a top box fighter with this video, as I'm going to be giving you guys the most valuable tips and tricks that in theory should not only help you improve your box fighting skills but also improve you as a player. And yeah, without further ado, let's hop into this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope this video really does help. So the first and most obvious tip to win more box fights in Fortnite is going to be practicing creative with your friends or somebody you find on Discord. It's really easy to set up a box fighting area. All you really need is a 2x1 with indestructible walls, and you can enable that before starting a Fortnite creative map. So make sure you guys select that. Also, there are quite a lot of variations of box fighting. There's a 2x1 or a 3x3 or a 4x4. It's really up to you. Make sure you guys try all of those out, but in my opinion the 2x1 is the most perfect practice for box fights, as the space is just much more confined and you're going to be running into a lot of those situations in those arena and scrim games, and this will give you good practice for those times. So make sure you actually do take a bit of your time every single day to practice these types of box fights, and I guarantee you will be winning box fights much more often in no time. So the next few things I'm going to be covering in this video are pretty much in-game examples that you guys should use, and let's get into the first one. So as you can see, my opponent turtles up, and what I'm doing is putting down floors and cones which will burn around 80 mats, but I'm gonna have pretty much all the area covered. So once I do take the person's floor and cone, they're gonna obviously hop into another box, but little do they know that I already own that floor and cone, and it pretty much gets me a free kill. And don't be surprised if you actually get a lot of kills doing this, because a lot of people fall for this mistake. And the reason why is because your opponent panics and tries to edit out, but little do they know that you already own the flat and the cone above them, letting you pretty much get a free kill, as I was saying before. So yeah, make sure to use this little tip in your box fights in arena and scrims, and it will definitely help you. So the next tip I actually learned from Sen Booger, and what it is pretty much putting ramps on each side of your opponent's 1x1 and then going for the opponent's wall. But instead of you just trying to stubbornly take the same wall, you gotta pretty much get into your opponent's head and outsmart them going for the other wall, and this works most of the time now, especially with the coin flip thing being a thing. And yeah, it's a great tip. You're pretty much always gonna get your opponent's wall from now on after a few tries, and this is definitely a relevant thing that you guys should practice with your friends. By the way guys, I think I just forgot to mention why the cones or the ramps are there on the side for, and the reason is so that your opponent doesn't just blindly walk over you and put a ramp and 2 walls down and trap you, making you look like an absolute bot. And yeah, just make sure you guys actually put a cone or a ramp down so that you can't get countered as easily, and it will just prevent stupid deaths. Another good drill you can do in creative is the double edit, as I am showing right here. I also like to put a wall down as if my opponent was just shooting me, and then edit through that and go for a shot. And what this does is it gets my edits nice and warm, and I do suggest you guys actually do this before a game for about 5 to 10 minutes, as it will just help you get the timings of your edits correct, and you know, it will just give you a better experience when you're actually playing arena or scrims. And just before we get into the last few tips, I just want to sum up the key things I have talked about so far. So what you must do to win more box fights is pretty much outsmart your opponent and make sure you hit your shots. And yeah, just be aware of what your opponent could be thinking in game and adjust according to that. Now let's talk about some real in-game practice that you guys should do. So the first thing I would recommend doing is when you play pubs, try and get into as many box fights as you can, and that is pretty easy to do. All you really got to do is build a 1x1 around yourself and, you know, play on the defensive and try and kill your opponent when they're least expecting it. First, you might be rubbish at it, but trust me guys, the top box fighters out there didn't just do it in a day. You have to give it a little bit of time. So yeah, just make sure you put yourself into box fighting positions whenever you can in pubs, and that will help you sooner or later. Now let's talk arena and scrims, and those two might be a bit familiar to you guys, because you may think that they're both sort of competitive sides of this game, but actually they're pretty different. Arena games are more W key compared to scrims, as scrims will just always be played at a much slower pace, and a lot of more skilled players are going to be playing it because they're actually looking to improve instead of just get some points. And my suggestion to you guys is play both of them, not just one or the other. Of course, scrims are good to do, but arena is just as useful in my opinion, because you get to see the different play styles of the people that actually play arena compared to scrims, and that will just help you improve as a player as well. Anyways, you should definitely try and put your knowledge with box fighting to use in those two competitive sides of the game, and you should definitely improve with time, because the more you practice the better you're gonna get, right? So dedicate some time to playing arena and scrims every weekend or something like that, and that will just guarantee you getting better at the game. And the final tip I'm going to be giving you guys today is watching streamers that are actually good box fighters. Someone I would actually suggest watching right now is Sen Booger. He is so mechanically gifted, and not only that, he has also got great game sense, and that is very important for somebody who is actually a pro player. And if you guys are looking to go pro, make sure you guys actually take a look at some of his gameplays and maybe just VOD reviews and whatnot, and it should actually help you get into the habits that the pro players have. Because I have seen a lot of people point out the fact that Booger places down walls and ramps in fights unconsciously, just to make most of the area his and not let his opponent go as quickly as he would have if the wall wasn't there. The walls and the ramps he also places down could be good for edit plays in the future that will follow up after a few shots or something. And yeah, what the point of watching pro streamers is not just to see how good they play, it's to actually implement some of their good qualities into your game, and tell me how that goes in the comments if you actually try that. Anyways guys, this is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I was able to help you guys out. Make sure to let me know in the comments if I did. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications on to never miss another upload as well. And yeah, don't forget to use the code MAXGAMER7 in the item store. It would really help me out and it would be really appreciated. But with that being said, I am out guys. Peace.